So the Cardi B controversy for the Grammys, I find really hilarious. Um, I did watch the performance. I am not a fan of, her music per se. I do love the sound of her voice. I could listen to her talk or rap because there's a certain tone in her voice that I like to hear. But I really only hear music on the radio, at the boxing program if it comes on. I don't really seek out her music like that. Um, but all the hate and parenting issues that seems to be coming from this performance um, caught my attention because I do raise kids for a living. I do therapeutic foster care, and I coach a lot of young athletes. From 6 years old up and sometimes five and up. Um, so I'm in that environment, and the performance itself, I like the stage setting, the type of song it is, the premise had that stripper type vibe, which was fine. I like the Stallion performance in it. The little change in the rhythm, but within the same beat. Uh, the lyrics itself, was suggestive. However, going back to I guess the dawn of music, you know, music has these innuendos. Tom Jones, for instance, with Pussycat and some of the other things, people throwing panties on stage, um, is one of those examples. But if you listen to any song, any of the more popular music for the past, you know, however long music has been recorded and sold, and Soul Train or whatever um, shows that came on back in the day, um, all of them had some sort of sexual innuendo in some of the music. So it's not like this is anything new. I mean, with the advent of the internet and access to so much videos and whatnot, the availability to see some of these performances have greatly improved over the years to the point where anybody can really access it, including children. Um, but the performance itself wasn't outrageous. It looked like she cut some of the lyrics, like the more explicit words, to to meet the PG rating for the Grammys. So, as far as her responsibility as an artist, she did a good job at that. Now, on the parenting side, where people are talking about the downfall of humanity in the United States, and it wasn't a kid-friendly show. From what I understand, the performance was around 10 p.m. in the night. Kids are supposed to be in bed. Now, granted, 10 p.m. Eastern time might not be the same in California, which will be 3 hours behind, so it will be 7 p.m. However, it is the responsibility of parents to monitor what their children watch. It is not the responsibility of performers or celebrities to parent your children. Just like how it's your responsibility for monitoring your children from accessing pornography. you know I don't really see a whole lot of people going after porn stars and saying, well, you're destroying the world by creating this content, at all. But yet you have this performance on stage, um, that is just as easily accessible as porn is on the internet and wherever with the advent of the internet. But I see the double standards there. So it is not Cardi B's responsibility to raise your children. It is not her responsibility to determine what your children watch and do not watch. Her, she's an entertainer. That's her job. Her professional life, what she does on the job, has nothing to do with her personal life. Um, so her target market or market demographics like the music that she performs, and she make uh, she obviously makes an income from it as a business. So to try and tie in her personal life with her business life as though they go together is disingenuous. It is not realistic, um, and it really shows the intellect of the people that's trying to make some of these claims. I saw some article where someone accused her of not allowing her daughter, Cardi B, allowing her daughter to watch her music. And she rightfully responded, stating that her music wasn't created for a daughter, it was created for adults. And she's absolutely right in saying she's responsible really for what her daughter watches, right? And she chooses to let her for her daughter not to watch her content because to her it's not appropriate for her daughter. So for us out here, or the people out here who have, to just to try and accuse her of all these things, and by belittle her for the content of her music, rather than looking at what we are doing. We're looking to point blame. Most people seem that's doing this stuff, they're lazy. They don't want to take accountability for their own actions and laziness and raising their own children, so they try to put that blame on somebody else. I see it all the time. Parents just dump their kids off at the program, disappear. They're not really involved with anything, and we, as the coaches, have to babysit and monitor and try and educate them. When it's mandatory for the parents to be involved, and those parents who are involved, we get better results behaviorally, and as far as training goes, they improve when the parents are involved. So if you're one of those parents out there pointing blame to Cardi B or other artists that's making their music, obviously the Grammy paid her for her performance. They saw her performance during rehearsals and didn't have any problems with it. They heard the lyrics to her music, and it met the requirements of the PG rating of their show. So if you are out here looking to nitpick or blame somebody because you think her performance was highly sexualized, you are at fault. Look at your own self and shortcomings. Don't try to put that on somebody else. We've done it, I think, people have done it with Miley Cyrus. They've done it with Madonna with kissing Britney Spears. It wasn't a real big issue. There was Cher coming on stage with her butt cheeks out. Prince coming on stage with his butt cheeks out. All these artists do a lot of these things. But that's entertainment. And if you lack the capacity to separate entertainment from child raising, and looking at the time frames when these performances come on compared to when your kids need to be actually in bed or having dinner or doing something else, that's your problem. Do not put the blame on the artist. I listen to some music, but I don't really follow music or entertainment so much. I don't really even follow a lot of these people's personal lives. It's not really important to me. They do not pay my bills. But I can see what they're doing for what it is, entertainment. They have a target market that love that music, and it's not for us to educate them. People who put out music that is inspirational music or political music, like the Bob Marleys, very rarely in today's market succeed because nobody wants to hear that. And these people are in business to make money. But there's some artists out here that still put out some of the political stuff that gets listened to as well, and you could find those if that's what you're interested in. But the Grammys know what they're doing to get the ratings up for their shows, and they hired her, Cardi B, to put on this performance. So chill out on all the hyper, vigilant stuff, because it's actually more damaging to society than her performance. Because now you're looking to interject an extreme mindset on the rest of the world, and being a foster care provider and therapeutic foster care, for instance, I see a lot of the problems associated with the extremes. I work in the extremes as far as hypervigilance and the law and so forth. And that's why a lot of foster care stuff fail miserably. A lot of foster care children end up either back in the streets, in prison, pregnant and in public housing again, or and significant amount of failures. Even though a few succeed, many don't, and it's because the extremist has succeeded in interjecting their stuff, and it shackles parents from actually, or providers from actually raising these kids to be successful adults. And I can do a video on that if you're interested in. Just ask in the comment section down below. But as far as this is concerned, Cardi B didn't do anything wrong. I'm not a fan of her music. I do love the sound of her voice, and I can listen to her speak. I enjoy hearing her voice, but I don't really listen to her music. I only hear it on the radio. As far as parenting goes, she's correct. It is our responsibility as parents to raise our kids appropriately, not artists, not strangers, not the people you see on social media, not me, not the people you see in movies. They have their own families to take care of, and they are raising their families appropriately by their standards. You need to raise your children by your standards. And if your standards is to sit your ass down and do nothing and let your kids do whatever they please, that's on you. Don't try to put the responsibility on other people. It's juvenile. Again, if you have any questions, ask it in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. Have a good day.